Hello and welcome back. Yes, if you're wondering why the background's a little different, it's because I've decided to shake things up a little bit. I ordered a special camera off Takealot the other day. It came, it worked for a day, and then stopped. Now I've had to return log a return. And in the meantime, I'm just using this camera. Hopefully it's not too bad and you guys can see me. And my friend has also, for my birthday, my two friends have given me a microphone condenser, which should be in the mix soon as well. So lots of changes coming up. Right, for now, what I'd like to do is start off talking about today's first video. Have any of you watched the series Diary of a CEO on YouTube? It's hosted by a gentleman named Stephen, I forget his surname now. He's actually born in South Africa, but he lives in Britain, in England. He's got a British accent. And the people he has had on his show, the knowledge and the insights have been fascinating. I have learned so much, and I haven't even watched all that many. But without further ado, why am I showing you today's video? This is for those people that have always wanted to make a change in their lives, but didn't know how. Whether it's stop drinking, smoke less, exercise more, be a better person, stop procrastinating so much. For those of us who have ADHD and struggle with those things, this is for you.
So this idea that start by keeping these small commitments to yourself that you make.
It's about the consistency of the small steps.
Your brain learns patterns.
You show me your habits and I will tell you how successful you will be able to continue to be in the long run.
The habit is when you've done something so many times that your body now knows how to do it better than your conscious mind.
It's changed the way I live my life. I cultivate so many little routines out of every day.
Small steps stick. Just a little bit of progression. And that'll make you feel good.
The first step has to be incredibly small. Do that. Make it so small that you can't say no to it. And then what's next? And then what's next?
So yeah, there you go. Go check out that full episode. I'll leave a link in the description. I'm writing here. Leave link. Making notes as I go along. I didn't think of saying it before, but I feel like that video alone is so moving that I'd love to share the entire episode with you guys. Just take a moment to realize that you're not alone. There are ways to get around the difficulties in life. If you've got a solution, take it, and it's for free. Go check out the episode. For today's second video, I love these guys. Ninjas are butterflies. They've got such interesting insights and angles. Today's one definitely intrigues me and hopefully intrigues you too. Here we go.
Weird.
I'm begging for it.
All right. There's a group of people that built an exact replica of the Ark of the Covenant. It took them 3 years to make. The chief architect chooses to remain anonymous. So they put the Torah, which is the Hebrew Bible, in the Ark of the Covenant. They just did that. And he said, quote, "When that Torah was put in this Ark, it became weaponized." This was probably the strangest part of this whole story. Do you know where this replica of the Ark of the Covenant was for 8 months before they brought it to Israel?
Antarctica.
Trump's house. Mar-a-Lago.
No joke.
It was in Trump's house for 8 months before it was brought to Israel. Why was it there?
That is insane.
I don't know what to make of it. Truly don't care how anyone voted. Just looking at face value, that's strange.
Mm-hmm. That should raise a little concern. Before we go in, we'll get into it. For those of you that don't know, the Ark of the Covenant, I wrote a little note, hang in there, is a sacred chest. Not chest, like a giant box, wooden chest, from the Bible said to contain the 10 Commandments, which would symbolize God, and I think then prove that God exists. There's some real significance there, and there's a lot of talk about it, and there has been for many years. What the heck? Can I say heck on YouTube? What the heck has this got to do with Trump? Why is Trump involved with all this? Well, today I actually came across a video that I think I should add to this episode today that raises a few questions, but it's heavily political. So what I'll do is I'll leave a link in the description to that YouTube video I saw today that links Trump to some antichrist matters.
His name was Max Logan, and at 13 years old, he discovered a device that cost only $14 and could create pure energy. He called it an electromagnetic harvester, and now people don't know what happened to him. I searched it myself, and some people say that he's missing. Other people said that he passed away with his mother in a car crash. Creating pure energy for only $14 is insane, so people think that the government came after him. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Imagine that. Imagine being able to create your own electricity. How would the government ever make money out of us then? You know what I'm saying? Which is why it's not too impossible or too improbable that this poor kiddo got a one-way ticket to somewhere where he'd never return from. Right, so I just want to check in with you guys. Ever heard of BRICS? Now, if you're from South Africa, Brazil, Russia, India, or China, this should appeal to you. This should be interesting to you. And the reason I'm bringing this up is the next video shows something that is a little bit scary. It's like, what? Could that be real? BRICS is an economic and political group of 5 major emerging economies aiming to promote mutual development, enhance economic cooperation, etc. I always question these things because that's just how I'm wired. What do you guys think? Take a look at some of the detail on this note. All you have to do is just pause your video. Take a good look. This is our 4th video. I remember reading this when I saw it the first time. The comment, someone said, why is there Afrikaans? Why is there Afrikaans on the note? It wouldn't be Afrikaans, it would be Dutch. But yeah, it's still a good question. Why haven't we reverted back to one of the other top languages? South Africa has 11 official languages. I think the most spoken is Zulu. And then I think it's English and then Afrikaans. I'm not sure of the exact order, but I know that English and Afrikaans are not at the top. So... Okay, if you're wondering why I'm showing you this, I'm a bit of a germaphobe. I came across this and I just thought, well, it's interesting. If you're wondering why my microphone's so up close to my mouth, it's because I'm trying to get over that whole breathing nonsense. And I think I was playing around the other day, and I think this is the best way. If it's too far away, you can't really hear me. So I do apologize. I am getting a microphone condenser soon from my besties. So bear with me, everybody. But yeah, check out this video. What are your predictions? Do you think that little wipey thing at the front they give you of the shops makes any difference? Let's see. They work, so don't forget to wipe. Okay, for the next one, what I want to do is just chat with you for a minute. Have you ever gone to a concert and just absorbed every beat and every melody of that performer like it was playing in your soul, right deep down into your soul? And when you left that stadium, no matter how bad the parking was or getting home, you felt like you were on top of the world, like you were almost on a drug. I've been having this conversation with a few people, and it's becoming more and more clear as time. Look, I used to go to concerts back in the day, in the early 90s, like Bryan Adams, and who else did I go see? Oh, Bon Jovi, for example. But something's changed, and not for the good, when it comes to the concerts that are available these days and what's going on in these concerts. And somebody put a video together that I'm so happy to share with you that will say what I've been trying to say and what I've been feeling for so long into words. So, yeah, check it out.
On August 15th this year, something odd and very creepy happened during a Lana Del Rey concert in Mexico. Now, Lana Del Rey is an American singer and songwriter, celebrated for her enchanting voice and nostalgic cinematic style. And it was during one of her shows in Mexico City this year that a mysterious phenomenon was captured on camera. In several videos, we can see what looks like some sort of mysterious energy wave that seems to knock down the crowd. This, for instance, is one of the videos recorded by a fan. Pay very close attention. Strange, isn't it? But it gets even stranger when you watch it from different angles. Check this out. In the video, we can clearly see what looks as if some sort of mysterious energy wave that seems to be knocking people down. After being uploaded to the internet, the mysterious event caught a lot of attention and internet users were divided. While some state that this is some sort of domino effect, where a bunch of people stumble upon each other, many other internet users seem to agree that this is most likely related to some sort of supernatural energy or maybe even a ritual that was being performed on the show. There were also many internet users that state that whatever happened, it was like a shockwave. It was way too big and too fast to be some sort of domino effect. Now, even though I would like to agree that this is most likely a domino effect, there were many people who were present in the show that left comments saying that this was something else entirely, something far more sinister. One internet user states, "I can't explain it. It was a strange force, but I didn't feel much." Another user states, "I do believe that something happened there, like a kind of a very strong vibe or energy that knocked down several people." And even though there's no evidence of this mysterious force field, I did research the topic and I found various different videos that portray strange energies that seem to be floating around the crowd in different situations. And it's the case with the infamous Travis Scott concert that happened in 2021, where thousands of people state that they felt as if some sort of satanic ritual was being performed during the show. There's even a video where you can see what looks like some sort of demonic entity jumping over the crowd. And it's the case with this mysterious video in New York City. Check this out.
It's not a flag. New York. Oh my God.
Did you see that? What appears to be some sort of shadow figure can be seen moving around the crowd. And if we slow-mo and zoom in on the video, it seems to be something moving in an unnatural way, very fast and somewhat translucent. This is definitely not someone holding a banner or anything like that. This is something else entirely. So could it be that something similar to this happened in the Lana Del Rey show? Or was it maybe something else? What's your take?
Yeah, if you ask me, this is my take. The music coming out of the sound systems, the speakers that are being emitted by the performers, is altered and emits a certain frequency into the crowd, which then changes the electromagnetic frequency of all the people combined. And if you get enough people on the same frequency, it probably opens up a portal of some kind and attracts entities. And I can say this with conviction because I've done a little bit of research, but you can look into this now already. They are using similar technology to fight wars. So if you're in a war trying to reach the enemy without gunfire, you can easily have them surrender just on frequency alone. Something to look into, but I'm very skeptical about going to concerts now. Back in the day, I think it was okay. I'd like to think so. But now? Hell no. Ever heard of quantum jumping or jumping timelines? Well, according to ChatGPT, quantum jumping, it's a manifestation technique where you imagine jumping into a parallel reality or version of yourself based on the idea of shifting thoughts and energy to align with a more successful or desired state. So what that basically means is If you want better for yourself, if you want a specific outcome or goal for yourself and your life, you just have to imagine it, but put thought and energy into it over a prolonged period of time and basically adjust everything about your physical self, physical and mental and spiritual self now as though it has already happened. This next video goes into that, and I thought I'd give you that little lead in so that it helps explain what you're about to see.
This is one of those videos that you have to stick around for its entirety, because understanding this will make you a very powerful person. I've been thinking about quantum jumping a lot, which is basically being able to change your reality by jumping from one to the next. One of my followers asked to talk about it, and so that was my sign to talk about it. Okay, so the truth is we live in a parallel universe, which basically means that there's multiple different versions of the world, but we only see one at a time. This has been shown time and time again by scientists through experiments such as Schrodinger's cat. Parallel universe is just a fancy way to say a world that coexists with our world, but is very different from it. For my religious folk that aren't too shabby with science, religion talks about this too. The variation of Earth from a religious sense would be heaven or hell, or the spiritual realm. The spiritual realm doesn't only exist when we pass away. It exists all the time right now. It is parallel to us. It is current, simultaneous, and always accessible through practices such as meditation and prayer. So why is this important? Why does knowing about parallel universes matter? And what does it have to do with manifestation? Let me tell you why. The thing about having parallel universes means that if there's a parallel universe, there are parallel versions of you as well. Yes. You are operating in this realm, but also operating in other realms simultaneously. I'm literally getting chills. There are different levels of you operating at higher levels of consciousness, while others are operating at lower levels of consciousness, but they are all accessible. This is where quantum jumping comes in. Quantum jumping is pretty much changing your reality by jumping parallels or levels of consciousness. Basically, there's a better version of you, but there's also a lesser version of you. And with every decision that you make, you become more like one or the other. You know when you have a goal or a dream that's always on your mind, you feel so close to it, it feels like it could be yours. It's almost like a dream that feels like you feels like you can have it, but then you look around and you don't. You feel so tied to it because that is something that you do have in another parallel. You can fill yourself with it because you already have it. It is in fact already yours, and the Bible talks about this as well. We think it's something that we're dreaming of in the future. We think it's something that we see in the future, but in reality, we're not seeing it in the future. We're experiencing it in a parallel universe. This is what they mean when they say the past, present, and future are actually happening at the same time. They're not far and near, they're actually parallel, all happening at the same time, and the goal is to jump from one plate, one version to another by increasing consciousness. So how do we jump? Luckily for us, there are so many ways. If we are trying to get things that our higher self has, we will just have to do higher things. This is where spirituality and science once again come together. This is why we pray. This is why we talk to Jesus, God, spirit guides, angels, loved ones, whatever. Our higher selves has those things that we dream of. So if we tap into a higher realm, we could get the information needed to receive those things. It's almost like a telephone, right? Like, hi guys, can you tell me what the fuck to do? Can you show me what my higher self is doing so I can do that too? And of course, this is an analogy shifted to make it fit. Prayers like, God, show me the way. Help me to obtain things that I know are for me. Religiously, it's socially acceptable to leave those things at prayer, right? But these are all ways of manifestation. This is just one way to quantum jump. We could jump by the words we say, the things we do, meditation, focus and intention. Every decision, every action is a jump. I'm gonna say that again. Every decision, every action is a jump. Either up or down. You're either splitting into the higher version of yourself or the lower version. But the reality or the universe you get to experience is ultimately up to you and the decision to make. Anyway, this is getting deep, right? So there's so many things to say. There's so many things to explain. So maybe I should start a series on quantum jumping. Like and comment if you guys want more of this topic, because I can read about it forever, but I don't want to bore you guys because I'm a nerd. So things that I find interesting, I never know if other people care about. But yeah, I hope that this helps someone start to take control of creating the reality and shifting parallels through their decisions. And yeah.
Well, I'm certainly invested. So let me just reiterate what she said. Every decision you make will make you either jump up or jump down. Not jump up for joy. I'm talking about jumping up a timeline or jumping down one. Fascinating stuff. A friend of mine has been receiving a lot of information and messages from all sources about the significance of water. And no, I'm not just referring to the fact that water is there for us to hydrate us and hydrate our garden, wash us, etc. I'm talking about the spiritual significance of water. This video gives us a little bit more to think about, and I have my friend to thank for sending me this video, because it's something that she's been questioning for a long time, and I am too. Check it out.
To what extent is water capable of picking up information? What does it perceive? And how does it remember it over time?
The Aerospace Institute in Stuttgart has discovered a relatively simple way of making the structure of a drop of water visible. The researchers have had their efforts rewarded by insights into a very beautiful world. Each drop has a face of its own, unmistakable and unique. Why are the individual drops so different from one another? We got a lot of people to come to a lecture hall here at the Institute, gave them all the same water, had them make drops at exactly the same time, collected all the drops, and then discovered that each individual produced different images from the same water. And here you can see the results. Here on the right you can see that the images of the individual students are different, but those made by a given student are all quite similar. This is the work of the first experimenter, this one here from the second, this from the third, and this from the fourth. Individually they can quite easily be reproduced, but you would never have thought that they were all from the same water, because when you compare the images from the different people, you see some big differences. Then we undertook experiments to find out whether things changed when we put something into the water. A real flower was placed in the water. A while later we took a drop of water, and here you can see one of the pictures. And you can see it in this picture. It's the typical image you get when you put a flower into water. You could recognize the flower in every single drop in this glass, of course. That can be reproduced and has significance. And if you were to put a different flower in here, for example, a Sweet William flower, then all the drops of this water would look like Sweet William. The statement that water has a memory practically changes our whole way of looking at the world, of course. Let's travel down the Rhine in the figurative sense. The water is flowing down the Rhine, picking up information everywhere it goes. So the water has more information at the mouth of the Rhine than it had at the source. And the Dutch, living at the mouth, when they drink that water, they're also drinking all that information. Thus, the world's oceans would no longer be something that separates us, but instead a giant storehouse of information, and the rain would perhaps be a data medium carrying information to the world.
So I've been looking into the subject and came across, well, this information found me really. I came across the fact that hydrogen carries information. The same way, let's say, you have a flash drive, or RAM or ROM, read-only memory or random access memory on a motherboard of your computer. Hydrogen carries information. Now, water is 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. I'm not a scientist. Elaine, let your son please double check this for me. But hydrogen being 2 out of the 3 molecules that makes up a, yeah, am I saying that right? Elements that makes up the water molecule, means that we are 2/3 hydrogen, which means we're basically a running computer with massive memory. That coupled with the fact that something else I heard, gosh, I wish I could remember who now, coupled with the fact that we are basically the world's most complex and intelligent computer ever made, it kind of fits. Don't want to weird you out, but yeah. So the water you drink, it has a lot more, carries a lot more weight than you realize. Okay, I want to end off today's episode with what's recently happened in the, now how should we phrase this? The alien political, let me just say it. A journalist approached American Congress about the fact that he had proof, ample proof, in the forms of crisp, clear footage, and testimonials of folks from the military stating and proving that aliens exist and that they don't just come from the sky, that they also come from the ocean. Now, a lot of us were scheduled to watch this. We put this in our diaries. We sat with bated breath waiting for something interesting to come out of it. But if any of you have been taking note, those UAP hearings gave zero proof. It was just a lot of this. Anyway, I thought I'd show you a snippet from those hearings. You can go and check them out. They're easily accessible off YouTube, I think. And loads of people have had their 2 cents on the subject via TikTok. I almost said Top Deck. So go check them out. But I thought I'd add a small video here. And then afterwards, you'll see the general consensus of how people actually feel about this.
Okay, so who has the imagery?
I can tell you that in a closed setting.
Can you describe what was depicted in the satellite imagery? Just a description.
It was a UAP, ma'am.
That's it? No other description?
The term that the analysts used, they called it the button. It was a disc-shaped object.
Okay, where was it?
I can't tell you that, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay, Mr. Elizondo, you state in your testimony that, quote, advanced technologies not by our government or any other government are monitoring sensitive military installations around the globe, end quote. If these technologies are not made by any government, who's making them? Private companies, or are you implying they are crafted by a non-human intelligence?
It may be both.
Okay.
When it comes to Blue Force Technologies, I would not be able to discuss
Okay.
that.
Are you read into secret UAP crash retrieval programs?
We would have to have a conversation in a closed session, ma'am. I signed documentation 3 years ago that restricts my ability to discuss specifically crash retrievals. I submitted for my book through the DOPSR process, which took a year for it to be reviewed. And what is in the book is what I was told I'm allowed to talk about.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs, yes or no?
Yes,
Okay, were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft, yes or no?
yes.
Does the U.S. government have any reverse, okay, we already answered that question about retrieval programs. Do any U.S. contractors have the same?
I would prefer to address that in a closed session, ma'am.
Okay. In your book, you mentioned government employees who've been injured by UAPs placed on leave and receiving government compensation for their injuries. Is that correct?
That is correct.
How can the government deny we have recovered craft if they're paying people because they've been injured by recovered craft?
Ma'am, that's a great question. That's why I think we're here again, because I've seen the documentation by the U.S. government for several of these individuals who have sustained injuries as a result of a UAP incident.
Either show us the aliens or shut up about it. I don't want to see some pixelated video of something that might be a UFO. Show us the aliens. You said you have them. Show them to us.
Just show us the aliens. Stop saying that they're aliens. We know that they're aliens. Just show us. We found aliens a couple years ago. Show us. We found aliens in the ocean. Show us. I don't care. I don't care about the meetings and the hearings anymore. Show me the aliens.
So you can get the general consensus of how people feel right now. I mean, it's just the same thing over and over again. They hang a little carrot in front of your nose, and then we just keep, following on like the donkeys that we are. It's time to rise up, folks. It's time to speak up and go, hey. But anyway, let me not cause a rising. And let me just also remind you all, this is for entertainment purposes only. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I had a lot of fun with you. I have done things a little bit differently today. I hope it works out. If it doesn't, you let me know. But if you enjoy my content, please come back again. I try and upload at least once a week. Till next time, bye.